Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome to the real episode 170. I realized that on Monday it was actually episode 169 and I said 170. So sorry about that confusion. But today we're back on track, 170. And if the audio sounds a little different, I'm recording in Mexico. So we hadn't planned on being here this long, but we actually went through a hurricane and there were power outages. And so it had us rearranging a few things for the week. But I wouldn't miss connecting with you guys for anything. So here we are. Now, a big portion of our joy in life comes from our relationships, don't you think? Especially long-term partnerships with someone. Now, it's easy to think, oh, it's okay to just coast in these relationships because we feel like we're all set. So maybe we get a little lazy. But these have to be cared for just like anything else. I mean, these relationships, they have to be nurtured and they can be a source of joy. But sometimes we might think, well, I wish that my partner had this quality, or I wish my friend would act this way. I mean, we want them to provide something for us that we can and must provide for ourselves. It all boils down to us. I mean, if you're in a relationship or if you're not, you have to become the thing you want from someone else. Like always attracts like. If you're not happy, you aren't going to attract a bunch of happy people. If you aren't fit, you aren't going to attract a bunch of fit people. Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. And that always sticks with me. I mean, we humans have a tendency, we think so big to the point to where we think we can't affect change. I mean, if you only knew how powerful you really are, you work on yourself and you be the best version of you that you can be, and you'll affect so much change in others, and you may not even know it. But people watch and they get inspired by others that are living intentionally. You live your life in the best, most intentional way you can, and every single one of your relationships will be better for it. And the ones that aren't will drift away. It's the law of attraction. Before I met my husband, I was dating a great guy. He wasn't my guy, though, and deep down I knew it. He and I were trying to work on a relationship when we were supposed to go to a Tony Robbins seminar together. At the last minute, he backed out because he said, well, he had to work. And our friends told him, and I told him too, it's a mistake because I'm going to grow and you're still going to be where you are right now. See, so he had to decide what was more important. Well, ultimately, I went to the seminar without him, and I realized even though he's a great guy, he wasn't right for me. We didn't have enough in common. We both knew it. It was hard, but I broke up with him the day I got back from the seminar, and I never looked back. It was the best thing to happen to me, and I'm sure him as well in the big picture. Now, you become the best you can be, and what's meant for you will find you and stay. But that doesn't mean you can neglect that part of your life once you've attracted your soulmate or your best friend or whatever the relationship is. Neglect can look different to different people. I mean, how quickly does a home start falling apart when no one lives in it for very long? How about a car that sits without being driven? It goes south pretty fast. Relationships that aren't nurtured, they can be the same. And I can remember thinking that my husband was so happy with himself that he could be happy with anyone. And it almost made me feel not special to the point to where I could have sabotaged our relationship because I wanted to prove that I was special. And then I realized, wow, that's all me. I mean, that type of thought, that wasn't going to help our relationship. It was actually damaging. So how did I go about making myself so happy that we just coexisted happily together? And along that same thought, we have to be careful too, the language we use and the thoughts that we have in all of our relationships. I mean, I heard a man once call his wife the old ball and chain, and I wondered how that made her feel. Certainly not beautiful or desired. I mean, he was joking, but at her expense, not realizing the subtle damage he was doing. Our language, our thoughts, and our focus matters in every aspect of our life, and that really does include our relationships too. I mean, we put so much pressure on our significant other to be everything we need when we need it. But what about becoming the thing you think you need externally? becoming the thing you think you need from that other person. That's the secret to a spectacular relationship. No matter what kind of relationship it is, if it's parental, friendship, partner, you become the thing you want from them. When you want security, you have to become secure yourself. You want someone to make you happy, you have to find a way to be happy yourself. You want excitement, you have to be exciting yourself. And once you get to that point where you become the thing that you desire from someone else, now you have no expectations from the other person to make you feel a certain way because you know you feel that way already. And they can just be along for the ride, and that's the way it should be. No one can make you happy. You have to do it for yourself. That's real power. No one can take that from you. Imagine if you were just happy. No expectation from someone else, just happy all on your own. Now your relationships are there because you enjoy their company, not because you need something from them. When I met my husband, he was trained in the military, so he's very, very organized. He actually folded his underwear in 6-inch squares. Now that was terrifying for me because my drawer looked like a bomb went off. Huge difference. But you know what? He didn't expect me to fold his underwear that way. He recognized that that was something he wanted, so he did it. He doesn't expect that from me. Even though after being together for 15 years, I now like the same organization that he came with. Now, I personally have always been a clean kitchen person. I don't like having dirty dishes in the sink ever or things sitting out on the counter. But that's not something that necessarily bothers him. So when I see it, I just take care of it myself. I don't complain and nag him. I do it because that's my issue. We all have little quirks and we all have things we like to be a certain way. But you be the change you want to see in the world. And that includes your world. My challenge to you today is to think about the things you desire from your relationships and then ask yourself the hard question. Am I that? Or am I expecting someone else to be that for me? Also, am I nurturing my relationships or am I expecting them to coast on autopilot? Your power lies in you being the change you wish to see in the world. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.